MS-170 diagnosing no start.
I'm going to start by looking at the, of course I started by taking off the bar. We've got some, a lot of wear on this sprocket. Some of the Durco. This was a rebuilt one, by the way. It looks good. Maybe it's just a spark problem. It shouldn't be that hard to get to. Yeah. Junk in there. Now again, I want to be suspect that maybe these aftermarket fuel lines could be causing some problems. Even better than that. I'm gonna take care of this gas that's in there. Take that off, make sure I don't lose it. This is an actual steel carburetor. Checking to see if this is a steel fuel line or not, I can't remember. This is not, yeah, this is a steel line. So, I'll probably keep that. Alright, I'm gonna check for spark now. Yeah, there's spark. Looks like there might be some water in that gas. See how it beat it up like that? This is a Zama carburetor. out that filter. There's a lot of junk on that needle right there. Just using alcohol this time. Alright, now I just need to find the kit. This is the one that right here always lets me know this is what sets it apart from the others, that little notchy thing right there. Alright, I do believe I found it. I don't know what the name of it is, like an RB whatever, but here it is. Needle. I don't change these out most of the time. It's just not worth it to me. That's too long. Alright. I did that wrong on one of them, it didn't work right. One, two, three, four. Let's see, and then this is gonna go back that way. Make sure that you get it good in positions. They weren't going down, so it must not have been centered right. Not too tight. Yeah, everything looks good there. Filter. Screen. Oh! Allen works the best for me. Try not to hit it. there might be some water in that old gas. I'm going to put on a new filter. Little plastic piece. That was kind of messed up with that. Looks like it. Hard to get that thing in here. Try not to puncture it. Hard to get this thing in here when everything else is there, but you get it. Where my pliers go? I think this goes underneath. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It has a little baby bar on it. Man, I hate that. Can't find it. What did I do with it? There it is. That's too tight. Oh. There. I'm gonna put $51 in there because it's not myself going to somebody else. Alrighty. It's always gonna take a little bit of time once you get it all redone like that. Make it a little, this part. Alright. That was not right. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and take this off and see what's going on. I don't think this is one where I put a new crankshaft in. The aftermarket crankshaft is no good. This was a new, what do we call it, a flywheel, so that could be, very well could be the problem. Half inch. Yep, I can already see the key has come off. Alright. So it's good. Other than that, I'm just gonna, that was a China one. I've got a burned out one that I'm gonna get it from. We'll do that later. Alright, I'm gonna finish up this MS 170. So it would run, but higher. Actually, I was having problems. The person was having problems with a saw like that, and so it was getting airing from somewhere. And so what was going on? This is a saw that that was. Oh, this is actually the saw I'm gonna be. Okay, so this the rubber going from the intake to the carburetor was an aftermarket. Okay, so again, I'm running into aftermarket problems with the rubber. It's just not holding up. In about 6 months, it will crack and be useless. And you're doing it for somebody. You're dealing with then having to break the saw back down, and it's just no good. So I'm gonna have to. So and that was too again. They're a faulty aftermarket flywheel broke off at the key. So again, that was why it was kind of backfiring and as I got it going again. So there was multiple problems with this. But the piston and cylinder again, do not use the crankshaft, the aftermarket crankshaft. Do not use the aftermarket flywheel. Do not use the aftermarket rubber anything. I'm assuming now. I've ordered a fuel line that it just doesn't last long from China. Again, this is that the flywheel that where the key broke off. So. Just some time-saving things. I'm finding get you a spare. This one again, I'm using parts from one that had gotten burnt that I got at a scrapyard. So I'm going to go with that fuel line. It has the green original steel fuel line. I think it's going to be even better than what's in there. I'm going to be going with the boot from that saw too, if I can find it. And the original steel boot's going to have those little ridges, those kind of triangles in it. The aftermarket doesn't. And of course, it's going to have the steel logo in it. I'm going to go with that filter. It's so much better. Other than that, to get this out, I gotta take the whole handle assembly out so that you can take the 4 bolts out. That would, it won't separate the piston and cylinder, but it will allow you to bring out the whole unit here. But in so doing, I'm gonna have to take the bar off and the clutch and all that assembly. I might as well go. I think I've got a new clutch to put on that, or a clutch, whatever. I can't think of the name of it. This is the, I think it's a 3/8 Pico, 6-star. You can see it's really worn pretty bad. The other one's not too great either, so. This is reverse threaded. So you put it in forward to take it off. It helps to take it off if your spark plug's in there. It doesn't have to be all the way in there. This time go ahead and check you can see the wear on this one right here. I think the one that was burned out has a better one in it. Yeah, it's so much better, so we'll go with, I'm just looking at the threads, make sure the threads are good. Yeah. Alright. You just gotta pop out all these, handle mounts. Might as well clean that while you're in there. Better, screwdriver would work better. There's 3 of them. And use your screwdriver again to get in there and pop them out the other way. This one I think is the one to start with usually. And I gotta get it from the other side. This one is where you can pop out like that real easy. And pop this one out the same way. Ugh. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this while I got it. Alright, 225. And there's no other way of getting that on without doing this. It's just too tight of a fit. I probably ought to take off the muffler. Oh yeah, these wires are gonna... I'm going to take off the muffler. It's been clean. This kind of has a flattened area. Goes on the top. Wish this thing was out of the way. Ah, knock it off. Better that way. Okay. Try not to puncture it as we put it in. Fits so much better than that other one does. To make sure it's still attached, which this one had started kind of detached, so. Make sure it's good and seated on that. Okay. Put the screws back in the bottom. Now with this one, looks like 3 of the sleeves have come out of it, so I need to try to find those. Oh. I didn't have one. I'll take one from the burned out one. Kind of magnetized. Ah. Hang on. I think it's magnetized because the magnet part of the flywheel's there. There. There, finally. Alrighty. I'll get the handle back on now. Try to do it the reverse of the way that I had done it. this one right here is the one to try to get in first. And then this one. You want to be just a little bit recessed so when you put in the plug, it's flush. That helps. Okay. Where'd my muffler go? Bolts. Yeah, this didn't even get enough use in it to be able to even put carbon on anything. So I think what went out first, well, I won't say that it was the flywheel that went out first. Very well, it could have been the boot. We can do the carburetor next. Now this one has this baffle in it, the other one didn't. I'm going to go ahead and put this baffle on. The one that was burned up was a newer one. This will kind of keep the, everything in place and order. This off switch is going to go and attach. I think right, where is it? It's in there somewhere. Yeah, like that. And then the wire goes here. Your wire retainer. Which puts the black and the yellow together. The small ones are going to go in first. Make sure it'll make the turn. Alright, so we got our baffle in place. I'm going to go in with the carburetor. I'm going to go and put the fuel tank in now. It's easy to go ahead and put the throttle on now. Fits right in there. Inspection of the tank has been cleaned. This slides in right here. Let's put your fuel line in this little hole, this little area right here that it's designed for. Your wire's going to run on this side of it. Actually, the wire's going to be running in the back. There's an area for the wire to run in, and you want to get it in there. Just take a small screwdriver and get it in place. Make sure you don't cut into the insulation. You want to get it in there because you don't want it to cause any problems with the carburetor seating on that boot. Let's see if that's good enough. It's a little popped up. I think that'll be okay. Yeah. connect your throttle. Get ready to connect your choke. That's this one right here. Get that in first. In the little hole right here. Make sure your wire goes here. Little notch. Now here it'll help if you get that like that. Actually, I think it goes underneath. It goes underneath the throttle. So it's going to be easier to go ahead and take the throttle off. Okay, put it underneath the throttle. Reattach your choke. Put it underneath the throttle cable. Into its holder. Make sure that goes up. And reattach your throttle. Okay. Looks like it should. Make sure that's in there. Now you're ready for. Now I'm going to go with the one that, the burned out one. It has a little bit more to it. We got the metal on it. This looks better. I think I need a, yeah, I guess it. Just making sure it still closes. This would be a good time to put in your plate right here. That still needs to be tightened. Just making sure I got everything in there. Be able to plug it. Oh! Good thing I caught that. Got that thing. The little plastic piece that goes in that intake boot. Take out the throttle. Okay, well, actually, this is the first step right here, is taking out this choke out, that out. Undo the throttle. Take the carburetor off. Might be able to squeeze it in there. And got it. Okay, put everything back. Fuel line still attached. Let's get that off. Choke in. Okay. Okay. Alright. Yep. Check. So I like to do it, get it in there and then I'm gonna hand tighten it, just make sure. Okay. Alright, still got movement there, good, good. And we'll do this side now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and look for a good, well actually, I'm gonna put in the, yeah, that's one I want to use. That. And it does make contact, I can see the worm gear moving. This is top. I'm trying to figure out. I think this is going to be the side with the thingy on it. Here. Yeah, I can see the indentions here. This is going to be the. Well. Hmm. It looks like this one has the indentions of this too. The one that says top, I'm going to put out like that. Just put your hand on the other side as you attempt to tighten this. Remember, you're going to tighten it by going in reverse. Alright, now this is where I'm going to try to find a better clutch drum. This is the one from the burnt one. It is actually somewhat better. Alright, I found the drum in the P7. Whatever that's called, fits good, so pretty good. There you are. Pretty hard to put a little bit of oil on that. Oh yeah, I gotta make sure that it connects in with my spoiler. Yes. Yes. Okay, where'd that go? P7. The retainer. That's it. Okay. Good. And put on my brake oil. I'm gonna take these things out every time. It's annoying. I'm putting the black wire over there by the yellow wire. And it's locked for it. I have to get that hot. Okay, the 3 screws. Screw-doo-doo. Maybe you'll be able to get these out better than me. At one point I was getting it pretty good. Alright, they're gonna Alright, different carburetor. They might still have the same problem. Let me just suspect a spark issue. That's promising. This was the chain that was, the bar that was burnt. If I can get it at all to start moving, it will clean itself out. Oh, I was going to put some oil on it. That might do something. The bar fault for this saw, but it's the oiler holes match up. It's actually for the swing C, so the mount is a little bit wider, but it did fine. It didn't loosen up. It's a full chisel, so it cuts right through that. Gets a good deep bite into it. Very sharp, still very sharp. The first chain I used was so dull it almost started fire in the wood. This one's good. It's like a little 12-inch bar. I like that. This bar's getting a little worn. What I might do is go ahead and order the full chisel 14-inch that's actually for the MS-170. Or I might just give it to him out like that and see if he's okay with that. But, again, this is a good running saw, but are you willing to take the time to go through it and do all the necessary stuff? When something doesn't work, try something else.
Ultimately, saw no start. So ultimately there was quite a few different problems, okay? So, probably number one major problem was the flywheel key that was sheared off, the carburetor, whatever was going on with that carburetor. But in order to do that, and then the fuel line and the rubber boot. Again, never use this is aftermarket. This is basically an aftermarket still with the piston and cylinder, but don't use the piston, don't use the flywheel, and don't use any of the rubbers, any of the fuel lines or the boot. They will rot on you in short time, and you'll have a good running saw. It just got done and it's cool. So it's not burning hot, and that's great. That's what I like. It's running 50 to 1. It's not my saw, somebody else's. I said don't use the piston. I mean don't use the crank. Don't use the MS-170 crank. Use the piston and cylinder. They're good.